Broadcasting from the OCTV studios, this is From the Third Eye with Hunter Parker, right here on OCTV.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of From the Third Eye. I'm Hunter Parker, as always, your host with the most, who's not a ghost. I could just keep rhyming all day, but we don't have all day. So, today on the show, we have a jam-packed episode for you today. We have a bashing zone at the end. We have our main topic today, which is about how AI has helped me with my projects. We also have some questions from people that have tuned into the show that I'm going to answer today, which we'll start off with. But before we get into that, a quick announcement. I am the website for my internet station, WHDP Radio, is up and functional. If you are interested in hosting your own show on the station, you're more than welcome to apply. You can go to the website, which is whdpradio.co4.in. I had to think for a minute what it was. whdpradio.co4, that's the number 4.in. Yeah, I know, a weird domain. I know you guys that are web designers are going to get on me about that, but that's just the way it is. So deal with it. Anyhow, I already got flack from it from one of the voiceover guys that did some work for the station. I'm like, just leave me alone about the site. Give me a break. Anyhow, moving on. So that's there. The station is expected to launch sometime next month in July is the plan. So right now it's not launched yet, but it will be within the next month or so. So be on the lookout for that. You can join the listeners mailing list on the website to find out more information on when that happens. But you can get your applications in now, and I can get you all set up and everything for when the station does launch. So again, that's whdpradio.co4.in. Now, that we got that out of the way, I'm going to answer a few questions from some viewers who tuned into the show. I'm not going to name any names because they didn't give me permission to do that. So, one question from someone asked, what is involved in putting the show together? What do I do? How does it all work? Well, that's a good question. In fact, I'm actually thinking of starting a series next time on how to start a podcast, from everything from coming up with your ideas to hosting to submitting it to Spotify and other directories. That'll be kind of like what I did with the how to start an internet radio station in my first show. Kind of the same idea, except it's about podcasts instead. So I'm going to go into more detail of that next time. But I can tell you that what's involved in this show, we have a producer who happens to be Joe Calhoun, who's sitting over there, making sure that I sound good and everything. Him and I work together on the project. So I record the show and film it in the studio at OCTV. And then I take the audio of the show home with me. I add the intro music that you guys hear every time into it. I send it back to Joe. He puts the video in there and it makes any final adjustments. And that's pretty much how that happens. So again, tune into the show in 2 weeks as I will go into more detail of how a podcast is created and what's involved in doing it. Another question that was asked is all the voice work that you hear on the show and all the music you hear on the show and the different intros, how is that all done? And how much did it cost me to put those together? Well, that's another good question. And the answer to that question is the music that you hear in the intro, the outro, and even the Bashing Zone intro comes from a website called Pixabay.com. That's Pixabay.com. It's free. You just have to have an account with them to download your stuff, but it's all free. All the music came from there. The voice work for the Bashing Zone actually happens to be an AI voice from a website called 11 Labs, which is what I'll talk about today in a little bit. That's where the voice came from that. The voice for the intro of the show came from a company called Micro Jingles. The person that was behind the voice, his name is Chris. And I paid about $17, I think, for that intro. Maybe it was a little less. I don't remember exactly. They might have given me a coupon or something, I think, when I did it. But the AI voice was free. So that's kind of how that happens. The last question that I will answer that I have was who designed the website for the show? Well, that would be me. I designed the website for the show. So yeah, that's kind of how that happened. I did all the work for that. I didn't have any help with it at all or anything. Hope you like it. So I did the design of the website. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into today's topic, which is about AI. How has AI helped me recently? Well, when I was introduced to AI, I was introduced to 11 Labs from a friend of mine. And again, they're free. With the free account, you get 10,000 characters to use per month, which is a lot if you think of it, although it can go by fast depending on what you're using it for. You can create voices. You can use their pre-done voices. You can go to their voice library and add voices to your account, to your voice lab is what they call it. And it's all AI, so you just type into the box what you want said and then hit generate, and then it will play it back to you. Each time you hit generate, it will play it back in a different way. It regenerates it each time. And then when you're happy with the audio, you can just hit download and it'll download the file to your computer. How has that helped me, you may ask? Well, that saved me some money on voiceovers for my projects. A lot. That saved me a lot of money for that reason. So that's helped generously to save me some money on voice work. Now, I have still done that because it is nice to have a human doing voice work, but it also helps to have AI because nobody knows it's AI unless you tell them. That's how good these voices are. With the premium service with 11 Labs, you can do more, such as clone your own voice to make it AI. You can do that with the premium plans and other things as well. You get more characters you can use per month. But for basic usage of what I use it for the station and whatever, I don't really think it's necessary to upgrade. I have no desire to do that right now. So that's how that goes. So AI has helped me a lot, like I said, in with voiceovers, getting stuff done. Saved me some money. If you want to check it out, you can go to 11labs.com. That's 11 spelled out, not 11. 11 spelled out, ELEVEN, labs, LABS.com is a website. You can go there, set up your free account, and get started with creating voiceovers for whatever you want, for YouTube, for podcasts, whatever it is. So check that out. Now that we have that out of the way, it's time now for a segment that I enjoy doing more than technology, and that is the Bashing Zone.
This is The Bashing Zone, on from the Third Eye, right here on OCTV. Once again, here's Hunter Parker.
I had to do it that way to make it sound like a demon from hell, because the Bashing Zone is supposed to be all, frustrated and you're ticked off and whatever. So I decided to say Bashing Zone like a demon. So I hope you enjoyed my demon impression. So today on the Bashing Zone, we're going to talk about a podcast hosting provider, which I'll bring up again when I do my podcast series on how to start a podcast. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I'm frustrated with these people. Now, the service that I'm referring to is called Podomatic, Podomatic.com. That's actually, they mean a lot to me in a way because they're the first service that I used when I started out with podcasting back in 2009. And they're still around, of course. They're still just as good. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like Podomatic for the most part, depending on, what I'm using it for. I don't mind them. They're a great service, but here's the only problem that I have with them. And if anybody is listening from Podomatic, I encourage you to follow my suggestion here. The problem that I have is not the amount of storage that you get with your free account, which you get 500 megabytes of storage, which if you're doing a small show, it's not a big deal. You can always delete episodes, later if you need to free up storage. So that's not really a big deal. But the big deal that I have with them is the lack of support. If you want live support, whether it's through their chat or email, whatever it is, you have to be a premium member. Now, what I would suggest, and this is more of a suggestion than a rant, actually, with the Bashing Zone today. What I would suggest, though, because that is kind of ridiculous, and they never used to be that way. When I used them back in 2009 when I was getting started, I had questions about the account or whatever, and they were very helpful in email. It took them a little bit longer because they prioritized their premium plans versus the free plans, which is understandable, and that's what a lot of people do, which is fine. They should stick to that. Now they're not offering support for free members at all unless you use their self-help knowledge base. You can get help there. But as far as getting help from a person, you have to be a premium member to get help. Now, there is one exception to that. If you are having troubles logging into your account and you're not receiving the password reset email if you forget your password, then they will allow support from an agent for that. That's it. So, Podomatic, if you are listening to this show, I would encourage you to maybe for free members allow only maybe email support and prioritize it like you used to. Prioritize it so sure it may take a couple days longer than premium support does, whatever. But at least people can reach out to you if they have any questions or are experiencing any problems, whatever it is. That's all I'm going to say about that. Again, this is more of a suggestion than a rant. A little bit different than I normally do with the Bashing Zone. But there you go. That's kind of how that goes. But you can try it out by going to Podomatic.com and set up your free account there, which I'll talk more about that in my next show when I start the series on how to start a podcast. And going back to the, before we go, going back to the question about the website that was asked, I'm actually, speaking of podcasts, I'm actually going to be starting a series, not here, but I'll probably use Podomatic for it. I'm going to start a series, a podcast on how to design a website, from starting with the basics of HTML coding to more advanced things. I've always wanted to do it. I know that there's people out there that are interested in how to learn. It'll be slow, so I won't go too fast with the instructions. It'll be like a tutorial on how to get started. So be on the lookout for that. Once that is available, I'll put a link to that page on from the Third Eye website. So check that out. That'll be coming probably in the next couple weeks is my plan for that. So with all that said, that's going to do it for this edition of From the Third Eye. You can check out fromthethirdeye.altervista.org. That's From the Third Eye, all spelled out, .altervista.org. For all the latest information about the show, you can contact me there if you have any questions. You can submit your content for the Bashing Zone on there as well, if you have anything you want to share. And it's all there at fromthethirdeye.altervista.org. And be on the lookout for WHDP Radio. That'll be coming very soon. The website is up, so you can check it out, whdpradio.co4.in. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in a couple weeks for another edition of the show, where we start our series on how to start a podcast. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next time.